Thank you for joining us for this episode of That's Solo Life, the podcast for PR pros and marketers who work for themselves. People like me, Michelle Kane with Voice Matters, and my wonderful co-host Karen Swim of Solo PR Pro. Here we are again, Karen, ready to talk shop. Isn't it great?
It is great. Hi, Michelle. It is really great to be here with you again. Hello,
Yay.
audience. We're so excited and we are ready to dive into our topic of the day. What are we
We
chatting about today, Michelle?
are. Well, we're going to talk about some things that kind of relate. We always want to focus on our value as strategic thinkers, as public relations practitioners, some of us as marketers, some of us do both of the things, the integrated route, and just, things that are happening out there, right?
Yeah.
I think we've seen them. We've seen it a lot, content creators making gorgeous content. And kind of like back in the day when PR was mistaken as just glorified party throwers, now it's almost like, well, you made a pretty reel, so that's PR. I'm like, well, it's a beautiful, shiny tool in our toolbox, but behind that beautiful, shiny video was a lot of intent and precise thinking and seasoned thought of why you needed that. So, we have that happening. We've seen the butting of heads a bit with the DNC inviting content creators and some political journalists getting a little unhappy about that. Of hey, you're in my seat kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's some things going on, and they kind of align in a way, I think.
I think that they really do too, because I think this goes back to what we discuss a lot, as you said, is, how our services are valued. And that's really important to all of us as professionals, because value also equals demand for your skill set,
Yeah.
and demand for your skill set plays into how you're paid and able to make a living. And we have these forces, so we have our jobs really being eroded, because many of us are, as Kashana Evans often says, multi hyphenates.
Yeah.
I myself worked in marketing prior to actually becoming a PR practitioner. And then, I had already started working in PR when I actually got my APR. And so I know that a lot of other people took that pathway as well, where it wasn't necessarily they went to school and got a degree in it and started and, took a traditional route. Many people did not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really important for us, though, to understand that, we know with marketers, the same things happen. People see the pretty side of what we do. They see the outputs, and they don't realize that to get outcomes, it does take expertise. It takes, you can't just craft a beautiful marketing materials. You actually have to do some research. You have to do SWOTs. You have to understand the audience. There's so many other steps involved. You have to be able to, measure and make adjustments based upon analytics. Although I will say that, the barrier to entry for all of our professions is people can just jump in and say whatever they want to say. They can call themselves whatever they want to call themselves. And some people, like Tom Brady, are learning on the job.
Oh, that does my Philly Eagles heart good.
Did you like that?
I love
Sorry,
that.
Brady fans, but it's true. I notice I did not say anything negative, but he is learning on the job. And I think
Yes, that is true.
other
Yes.
seasoned analysts agree. That is the consensus.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, with time, he will progress. No, it is so true because, there is the APR, you can pursue graduate degrees in what we do.
Yeah.
But for the bulk of it, we are traveling. It's not like a teacher where you have a certification you can hold up, or, being a physician where, people call you doctor. But
Yes.
we are every bit the professionals in our field because we are the subject matter experts. And I think too, and I think many of our listeners are on the more seasoned end. There is a lot that goes into what we do, but there is also a good portion of that does come second nature at this stage, right? You can just kind of eyeball something and go, okay, I know what we need to do, but then of course you still have to back that up. So
Yeah.
just because it might come a little easier to you does not diminish the value. There's the whole
Yeah.
what's the old fable about chopping down the tree or something, or well, I was sharpening my axe. Anyway, you can insert old adage there, but there is something to that. It's like you're not paying me for the 5 minutes it took me to do it. You're paying me for all the years and sweat equity and the pain and suffering that got me here to be able to
Yeah.
do this for you. And there is value in that. And I think there's room for all of us to work together on these things. But at the end of the day, just speaking to clients, there's no easy fix. There's no quick
But they want
fix.
it to be, right? They're
They
seduced
do.
by the
Yeah.
easy and the pretty. So,
Yeah.
AI as opposed to, actual human intellect
Yeah.
using AI as a tool, or,
Yeah.
pretty, reels that, go viral, or that they think will go viral, or things that look nice and look pretty, and not really concerned about, because they don't understand how to really measure the success of that. And that's on not only on the B2C side, that's on the B2B side as
Oh, yeah.
well.
Yeah.
The only time that I've seen companies not maybe fall into this trap quite so easily is when it's such a highly technical product or service that they really are looking for people that are super knowledgeable in that particular field. But outside of
Yeah.
that, companies, fall into the same thing. And we feel for the journalists. However, I would say to journalists, particularly political journalists, because some of the best political reporting, in my opinion, these days is really coming out of Substack. So these
Yeah.
are political, journalists doing their own thing. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could say that about every profession. I have a client that says the best of the best are eventually, if they're not already independent, they're going to go independent,
Mm.
because why wouldn't you, as a top performer, take your highly specialized and in-demand skills to the open market and leverage them to create exactly what you want to create, work how you want to create, and be authentic. And I think we're seeing a
Mhm.
lot of that, where independents may stand apart from those people that are in traditional jobs, because we have more control over what we do and who we do it for and what we charge for it. And that's not to say there's not a role or value in our in-house friends, but it's just an interesting observation, that I think as a profession, we want to uplift the entire profession and not just say, hey, we're solos and we've got it better than you do, but we want to make sure that we preserve this for the next generation, even as we
Yeah.
evolve, because we think, we all know that professions do evolve and grow as times change.
Absolutely. We do. And clients, they're always going to need someone to tell their story. It
Yes.
doesn't matter. And they're always going to need someone who can, what's the word? I work in words and I don't have words. Not safeguard, but really
Yes.
just a safeguard, guide that story, really just be
Yes.
the champions of that.
Oh,
Of,
definitely. The way
this
our
is
minds work, every single thing from
yeah.
writing a simple headline to
Yeah.
creating a campaign, we are running crisis scenarios in our head
Oh yeah.
without even thinking about it. In
Mhm.
addition to thinking about the audience and what's going to resonate with them, and thinking about how that aligns back to key messages and how does that all tie back to the overall objectives. I mean, there are so many things rattling around in our brain. This is why we don't have hobbies. Who
This
has
is why we
time
don't have
when you have all
puppies.
of these things that are going on in your mind at one time? And, of course, organizations don't always realize that, because, again,
Right.
they see the outputs and it's up to us to reinforce the outcomes. But I think, I would say for PR professionals and for journalists, we've got to lift ourselves up. We
Yeah.
have to really do a better job of standing apart from
Yeah.
those who might be casually performing the job.
Yes.
The best of us really need to shine, and we need to be the ones that are the guiding light for those that may be coming into the profession, or those that might be slacking.
Yeah.
again, I do think that it's up to us to like raise the tide. And that's
Yeah.
by, being our best and really educating
Yeah.
what true journalism is, what true PR is, what true marketing is. We're not leaving out our colleagues in marketing, because you suffer from that same false view about your job. And it's not
Right.
about just pretty marketing materials. It's so much more rich and complex than that.
It is. It is. And I'm sure you scan job listings here and there, and it's still, something that's running rampant, and it's something that I see on two fronts. In fact, it's benefited me because sometimes I get work out of it. The company's trying to tough it out and add marketing and PR onto existing
Yes.
positions. Well, we're trying to do it ourselves. And I'm like, and I always say in a kind way, I said, well, you already have a job, and you don't expect the rest of us to do what you do ourselves. Like, there's a place for everyone. And why are you making life so hard for yourself? And then there are those who, I'm sure we've all seen those administrative assistant job listings where 30% of your job will be social media marketing, creating flyers, and I'm like, really?
Yeah. Companies definitely are trying to save money
Oh,
and
sure.
not hire people, but
Yeah.
you still have to make smart decisions. And
Yeah.
I know that our social media marketers in the group cringe because your
Yes.
jobs definitely are misperceived. It takes more than knowing how to use a platform. That's not social media marketing. That's not
Right.
hiring a social media professional. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I,
wild that there are certain positions, and we all fall into this realm where it's wildly misunderstood what
yes.
we do, the nuances of what it takes to really do the job, the
Yeah.
complexities, and then the value that it really delivers that you never see. The fact that you are not on the nightly news, the fact that
Exactly.
your company is not in headlines, thank your PR professionals for thinking through things, because companies can
Yeah.
come up with things and they just don't think in the same way that we do. I'm not saying that they're not smart, but they see what they see from the lens of how they view business, and they
Right.
might miss things that we see as a headline,
Right.
basically.
Right. Right. We are the ultimate in troubleshooting.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
that's our job. Well, we hope this has been enlightening for you, and we hope this has built you up and is getting you ready for your day, and you just want to go out there and go, yeah, our profession's amazing. And if you do, please share this around. Please check us out at soloprpro.com. And until next time, thanks for listening to That Solo Life.